Not all love begins in light. Some forms of love are born in silence, in shadow, and in places we are taught to fear. But some love begins in the quiet safety of those shadows. The story of Persephone and Hades is often misunderstood as a tale of abduction and loss. But when we listen more closely, beyond the surface of the myth, another story begins to reveal itself. This is not a story about romance as rescue or love as possession. It is a story about recognition, respect, and partnership formed between two beings who dwell in different worlds, yet choose to meet in the space between. This is the story of a love that does not demand brightness, but honors depth. A love that does not consume identity, but allows it to grow. In many retellings, Hades appears as a distant, dark figure, the god of death who takes Persephone into his realm. Persephone, in turn, is portrayed as a passive figure, defined only by what is taken from her. But mythology is rarely meant to be read only at face value. The ancient Greeks understood that myths contain layers: emotional, psychological, and symbolic. And when we look beyond the literal events, we begin to see Persephone and Hades not as captor and captive, but as two figures shaped by solitude, responsibility, and profound restraint. Hades is not a god of chaos or cruelty. He rules the underworld with order and balance. He does not seek power over the living, nor does he interfere in their world. He remains in his realm, unseen and often misunderstood, carrying the weight of what others refuse to face: death, endings, and truth. Persephone enters this realm not to disappear, but to transform. Unlike many gods of Olympus, Hades is not driven by conquest. He does not pursue admiration, applause, or dominance. He governs quietly. He keeps boundaries. He honors the laws of balance. In psychological terms, Hades represents containment, the ability to hold what is difficult without destroying it. He does not rush grief. He does not deny darkness. He allows things to be what they are. This makes him a fitting counterpart to Persephone's transformation. When Persephone becomes queen of the underworld, she is not diminished. She is elevated. She is given authority, voice, and agency in a realm that requires wisdom rather than innocence. Hades does not ask Persephone to remain small. He does not require her silence. He rules beside her, not above her. Their partnership is one of shared power, rare in mythology, and deeply symbolic. One of the most important moments in the myth is Persephone's decision to eat the pomegranate seeds. This act is often misunderstood as a trick or a trap, but symbolically, it represents consent, a conscious participation in transformation. By tasting the fruit of the underworld, she wasn't falling into a trap. She was claiming her right to know the depths as well as the heights. By eating the seeds, Persephone acknowledges her bond with the underworld. She chooses connection rather than denial. She accepts that she now belongs to more than one world. This choice changes everything. Persephone is no longer simply taken. She becomes a participant in her own story. Her relationship with Hades is sealed not by force, but by shared reality. They both understand the weight of permanence, cycles, and responsibility. Their bond exists not in fantasy, but in truth. The love between Persephone and Hades is not youthful or idealized. It is not built on dreams of escape or transformation. Through another, it is built on clarity. Hades sees Persephone not as a fragile maiden, but as someone capable of ruling, deciding, and holding power. Persephone sees Hades not as a monster, but as a steady presence, someone who does not flinch at darkness, including her own. This kind of love does not promise constant happiness. It offers understanding. It does not demand light. It respects shadow. Their relationship teaches us that real partnership does not require one person to save the other. Instead, it allows both to become more fully themselves. When Persephone becomes queen of the underworld, she gains a role that is hers alone. She mediates between life and death. She listens. She judges. She guides. Hades does not take this from her. He supports it. Together, they rule a realm that requires balance, fairness, and restraint. There is no spectacle in their love, no jealousy or competition. Their bond is quiet, grounded, and enduring. This challenges many modern ideas about love. It reminds us that intimacy does not have to be loud to be real. That devotion can exist without constant affirmation. That respect is sometimes the deepest form of affection. Many of us are taught that love must be exciting, overwhelming, or dramatic to matter. But Persephone and Hades offer a different model. They show us a love that honors boundaries, a love that grows through shared responsibility, a love that allows both partners to remain whole. This kind of relationship does not erase individuality. It deepens it. It also reminds us that love can exist alongside autonomy, that choosing someone does not mean losing yourself. Persephone remains connected to her mother, to the living world, and to her own evolving identity. Hades does not isolate her. He respects the rhythm of her movement between worlds. This is love that understands cycles. Persephone's life is divided between light and shadow, surface and depth. Hades does not resent this. He understands it. Their relationship exists across distance and return, absence and presence. It teaches us that love does not require constant proximity. It requires trust. In many ways, Persephone and Hades represent the mature stage of love, where possession is replaced by partnership and control is replaced by mutual respect. They show us that it is possible to love someone without owning them, and to be devoted without being consumed. You may recognize parts of this story in your own life. Perhaps you have learned that love is not about being saved, but about being seen. Perhaps you have discovered that respect feels safer than intensity, or that the deepest connections are the ones that allow you to exist fully, even when you change. Persephone and Hades remind us that healthy love does not fear darkness. It meets it with steadiness. It asks not, "How can I complete you?" but, "How can I walk beside you?" The myth of Persephone and Hades invites us to reconsider what love can look like, not as a fairy tale, but as a partnership grounded in respect, choice, and shared power. If this story resonated with you, I invite you to reflect. What kind of love makes you feel more yourself, not less? You're welcome to share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe if you'd like to continue exploring myths that speak not only about gods and goddesses, but about the quiet truths of human connection, because some love stories are not meant to dazzle, they are meant to endure.